Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Dr. Nekima Armstrong has been arrested and charged with federal crimes related to a protest at City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. If you don't know, let me bring you up to speed. Dr. Nekima Armstrong is a woman who gathered three of her buddies and they crashed the city's church in St. Paul because the pastor is also an ICE director in Minnesota. They went there this past Sunday to expose the pastor because, hey, man, they're saying, look, man, we think it's very, very awkward and strange and inappropriate and despicable for you to pastor a church and at the same time terrorize the community. Now, they went to this church. They were let in. They didn't force themselves into the church. They were let into the church. They didn't beat anybody up, didn't leave anybody leaking. They came in peacefully and disrupted the service and then left. And Donald Trump, your president, DOJ said, no, 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 no. We are going to arrest, we're going to investigate and arrest everybody that was involved. Here's the video in question.
Shame on you. This is the house of God.
Why are you not at Whipple protesting? Why are you not standing up with your Latino and Somali community? House of the devil.
We have a duty to win. Justice for our immigrant neighbors. Justice for our immigrant neighbors.
Okay, family. So what are your thoughts on this? Is the DOJ out of pocket, or were they well within their rights to investigate and arrest Dr. Nekima Armstrong? Give me a thumbs up if you think the DOJ was right. Thumbs down and say, nah, man, they out of pocket. Sounds like white supremacy. I'll give you a few moments to think about it. Okay, time's up. Look, here's the pastor right here. This is the guy. That's a big difference, huh? It's a pastor when he's working his, I guess, is he moonlighting as a pastor or moonlighting as an ICE agent? But that's a very different look right there. Look at that. Looks very menacing in both uniforms. They got him, fam. They exposed him. They exposed old buddy. Here is the story. Here's a story that I found on News Time. Attorney General announces the arrest of at least 2 people involved in a Minnesota church protest. That's Nekima right there. That's Dr. Nekima right there. Okay. A prominent civil rights attorney and at least one person involved in an anti-immigration enforcement protest that disrupted a service at a Minnesota church has been arrested. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Thursday, just as Vice President J.D. Vance is set to visit the state. Bondi announced the arrest of Nekima Armstrong in a post on X. On Sunday, protesters entered the city church in St. Paul, where a local official with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement serves as a pastor. Bondi later posted on X that a second person had been arrested. The Justice Department quickly opened a civil rights investigation after the group interrupted services by chanting ICE out and justice for Renee Good, referring to the 37-year-old mother of 3 who was fatally shot by an ICE officer in Minneapolis earlier this month. Listen loud and clear. We do not tolerate attacks on places of worship, the Attorney General wrote on X. Why do they all try to write like Donald Trump these days? They're just writing in all caps. He's just screaming. I saw Nicki Minaj writing in all caps the other day, just screaming. City's church belongs to the Southern Baptist Convention and lists one of its pastors as David Easterwood, who leads the local Icefield office. Many Baptist churches have pastors who work at least part-time in other jobs. Levy Armstrong, a civil rights attorney and prominent local activist, had called for the pastor affiliated with ICE to resign, saying his dual roles poses a fundamental moral conflict. You cannot lead a congregation while directing an agency whose actions have cost lives and inflicted fear in our communities, she said Tuesday. When officials protect armed agents repeatedly refuse meaningful investigation into killing like Renee Goods and signal they may pursue peaceful protesters and journalists, that is not justice, it is intimidation. So that's where we are with that. Now, I'm gonna tell you something, family. I'm not really surprised that the good pastor is an ICE agent. I mean, this is what they do. For years, Klan members have put on the sheets and rode and killed people, and then went back and preached on Sundays. Yeah. Or they preach on Sunday, and then after they get through preaching, they go put their Klan uniform on and go hang somebody. That was all part of Sunday activities. Yeah. Don't be surprised. I bet you if that was a study done and if that was some type of statistics that were kept, I guarantee you that a whole lot of members of churches, I bet you some whole congregations were members of the Klan and supporters and Klan empathizers. I guarantee you. So this doesn't surprise me that the pastor is also an ICE agent, somebody who is so-called in the church in a place of worship where everybody is supposed to be welcome and we all are God's children and love, but then go out and shake the community down and terrorize the community. I'm not surprised at that. Now, the ICE going after people in the community is my biggest issue with all of this. I have no problem with ICE going after illegal immigrants because we should protect the borders. The borders should be protected, but the issue is that ICE is going after everybody. They're coming for everybody. They're making everybody's life a living hell. Well, indiscriminately they are. People who are not legally here more so than people who are legally here, right? So what is Dr. Nekima Armstrong's specific charges? Conspiracy against rights. This statute makes it a federal crime to conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States. She is also charged under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances, otherwise known as the FACE Act, specifically for allegedly using threats of force to intimidate or interfere with persons participating in religious services at a house of worship. I find it strange that they don't really enforce this FACE Act. But since it's a Black woman leading the protest, now they want to enforce it. When I've been seeing white people walk into these places of worship with Black folks and disrupt them and walk right on out and go home and nothing happens. They don't want to investigate the shooting of Renee Good, the murder of a peaceful protester, but they will investigate the disruption of a church service during protest. See, fam, this is why I do not put myself in the line of fire in regards to protesting. I used to protest early on when I was a lot younger. I used to protest. I mean, I protest everything, fam. I was on the front lines, and I just kind of protest differently now. You know, I don't put myself out there like that because law enforcement is always going to be for the establishment. Always. They're going to always be for the establishment. So you're going to be at a disadvantage if you're out there protesting. Now, remember, the Klan is for the establishment, as long as the establishment is operating the way they want it to operate. The Klan, the Proud Boys, the neo-Nazis, skinheads, all the uncivilized mutts who hate black folks, all of them are going to always be for the establishment because the establishment is anti-black. So you're going to be at a disadvantage if you out there and a fight break out, whether it's a fist fight or a gunfight, the police is going to be on their side and you're going to be at a disadvantage, and you're going to be the one charged or overly charged. And they're going to be the ones who are going to pretty much walk out into the sunset with no cuffs on. That's pretty much how it's going to go. So I wouldn't put myself in the line of fire like that, and I wouldn't advise anybody else to do it. But if you're going to do it, be careful out there. Because I can understand when some people want to shout, pump their fist, do something about it. I get it, but be careful out there because they'll knock your head off, straight up. This particular situation going on with ICE and all of this stuff, personally, I wouldn't be out there. I wouldn't be out there for, not just because I don't want to put myself in the line of fire between the police, but this ain't my fight. This ain't our fight, straight up. I know some of y'all ain't gonna like that, but this ain't our fight. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.